yoga to help us work on our core strength, our balance and stability. So I am going to recommend having a yoga mat, and I'm going to recommend that you put your yoga mat up against a wall, because we will be using the wall, and a chair. We're going to be using maybe the back and the seat of the chair as well. If you just put me on pause, go and grab those now. We're going to be getting started down on the mat. To get started, we're going to be coming onto all fours. So on all fours, we're going to be doing a bird dog variation, but we're going to be using the wall and the chair to help us get a little bit more elongation and to really help us with our stability and balance. This is really going to be working your core strength as well as your back. It really does do a lot. Bird dog, that's why you see a lot of physiotherapists will give this as an exercise. And they use it in yoga as well. It's kind of a very versatile exercise. So you're going to come onto your hands and knees. I want to make sure that you're protracting through your shoulder blades. So you're pushing the ground away from you through your shoulder blades, and you're not letting your chest sink or collapse down to the ground. Then you're also squeezing your tummy muscles, not letting your rib cage flare or your lower back arch. So that's really important, because that's going to help strengthen our shoulder blades. It's going to help strengthen our core. You're also thinking about keeping your head nice and long, so not letting it collapse to the ground. And it's like you're pushing your head into your hands and you're sending your tailbone back. So you're getting that elongation through the spine in this position. Then we're going to extend the right leg back, and you're actually going to take your foot to the wall. You might have to wiggle around a little bit to make sure you get a good length. And you really want your heel to line up with your hip. So we absolutely do not want this leg to be going up high, especially the side if you have a lumbar concavity, because it's just going to push your hip into that concave area, which we definitely do not want. So we're extending the right foot back. You've got your toes and heels flat against the wall. Your chair is out, sorry for the squeaky floor. Your chair is out in front. And we're going to hold this position and then reach your left arm, so opposite to your right leg, out to the chair. And again, we don't want the arm to be super high, just in line with your shoulder. Oop. We're going to hold this position, squeeze the tummy muscles, and keep pushing the ground away from you through your hands. Holding and breathing. Working on our strength in our core. And if you want to make it more challenging, you can think about maybe taking your foot away from the wall or reaching your hand off the chair, but only if you can hold this position without rotating or wobbling or collapsing down towards the ground. We're going to hold another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then slowly lowering. We're going to switch sides. So the left leg is going to come back, foot flat against the wall. Thinking about elongating as you reach your right arm forward. Can you get long from your right fingertips all the way to your left heel? Your triceps are engaged. You're pulling your shoulder blade back onto your ribs, and you hold and squeeze. Deep breaths, not arching into the back. Keep the head nice and long. Working your core muscles, and of course you can take your hand and your leg away if you can hold your balance. If not, please bring them back, and it just helps to keep that elongation as well, having that support. Breathe and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, well done. We're going to do some elongation. So as we're here, puppy pose, we know I love a good puppy pose. We tuck our back toes under, we send the hips roughly halfway back between your knees and heels, and we reach the arms forward as we send the hips back. You're keeping the head off the ground, the neck nice and long, and you're getting length through your spine. Big deep breath into the back of your rib cage. Getting as much elongation as possible. One more big inhale. And then exhale. We're going going to come up to a standing position. We're going to be using the back of your chair. We're going to be doing Trikonasana, which is triangle pose. And I love this pose just for getting lots of elongation, length through the spine. So you can come towards the back of your mat. Let's start with the right side, right leg back. So your right foot is going to be facing parallel with the mat. And your left foot is going to be facing towards your chair, towards the front of your mat. You can even wiggle your left heel, either in line with your arch or in line with your big toe, especially if you know your right hip rotates forward. Wiggling that heel in line with your right big toe can help you pull that right hip back. That's going to be specific for your curve type. So we're in a really wide stance here, and I recommend that you go even wider than what you are now, because it's always wider than you think. Legs are straight, but please don't lock out your legs, especially if you have hypermobility. Just keep a soft bend in your knees, but not like this. Legs are straight, but we're just not locking them out. The chair is in front, so you have that back of your chair there because we're going to be using it to keep ourselves elongated in our triangle. So you're going to reach your arms out nice and wide. You're going to take an inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, take your left hand to the back of the chair and the right arm can reach up towards the ceiling. We are thinking about sucking in this knee and lengthening all through the side of your body here. If you have a convexity in your ribs on this side, you can just bring your hand to your shoulder. We want to push into the chair as well if you can, especially if you have a concavity in this area, to help open up. We don't want to bring the hands down because then we're kind of crunching into this section, and if you're convex in the lumbar here, if you have a left lumbar curve, it's not going to be very good for that. So we keep lots of length. We inhale and breathe. Exhale, keep the length. Inhale, open, expand, stretching all through the side of your body. Also working on your core strength, your balance, stability. Exhale, one more big inhale, and exhale. Then use your core, gently bring yourself back up, and you can step forward to the front of your mat. We're going to do the same on the other side. So I have my back facing, actually, I'll turn this way so my back isn't facing you. Bringing the chair here. So we want to go wide with the foot. So your left toes are going to be back behind you. Your right toes are going to be facing forward. And you can heel your right foot in line with your left big toe. If you know your left hip rotates forward more, this will be really good for you. But as mine does not do that, I'm going to go back into the center alignment. So the hips should be facing the same direction as your left foot. So hips are kind of facing forward. For me, that's forward towards the camera, not forward towards the front of the mat. We lengthen the spine, squeeze the tummy muscles, reach the arms out nice and wide, and then slowly taking your right hand towards the chair. The left arm can either reach up. If you have a convexity in your left ribs here, you can take your hand to the short hand position. If not, you can reach your left arm up nice and wide. I'm concave, right thoracic, left lumbar. This is concave ribs, so I'm going to reach the left arm up to help open up this concavity. And again, you can push your hand into the chair to keep that length. We don't want to collapse down, especially if you have a concavity in this right lumbar area. And if you have a right thoracic, left lumbar curve, you will have a concavity in this right lumbar area, so especially not collapsing into that. But we really just want to hold and breathe. We're opening all through the side of our body, getting lots of length. Squeeze your tummy muscles. Really active in this pose. One more big inhale. Can you get a little bit more length? Exhale. Slowly bringing yourself out, and you can step yourself forward. And I'm just going to move the chair back over here for our final pose, which is going to be the most difficult one. It's going to be a warrior 3. And we're going to use the wall again, and we're going to use the chair. So this is really going to be helping us with all 3, core, balance, and stability. There's a lot going on with this. So we are going to hinge at the hips, so that folding at the hips, not rounding into the back. Bending your knees, and you're going to take your hands to the chest so that your hands are underneath your shoulders. Then you're going to step your right leg back, and you might need to shuffle back a little bit because we want that right foot to come up against the wall, just like we did in our bird dog. We don't want that right leg really high. Again, same reason, we don't want to push into any concave areas. You're going to push the ground away from you, just like you did in your bird dog. Make sure you're not collapsing into the chest or arching into your lumbar spine. And then we're holding here. So this is a warrior 3 position. Think about getting your neck nice and long. Your crown of your head is reaching away from your tailbone. Squeeze your core muscles. And if you feel like you want to make it a little bit more difficult, you can remove your right foot away from the wall. You could also bring your hands off into a prayer position. But please only do that if you can do it and hold your balance. If not, working here is great. We're just focusing on elongation, it's core, balance, soft bend in the knees so we're not locking anything out. And we get 2 more deep breaths. Big inhale, big exhale. Big inhale, big exhale. Let's slowly lower the right foot down. We'll take a moment to stand up nice and tall and get ready to go on the other side. So taking the hands down, extending the left leg back behind you, find the wall and pushing your heel against the wall, getting lots of length. Make sure you're not rotating up through the hips as well. I know I have a tendency on this side, so you just want to be aware of what your hips are doing. Crown of the head is reaching away from the tailbone, and you're pushing the ground away from you through your hands. So keeping that length, squeeze your tummy muscles. And if you're feeling balanced, you can maybe move your foot away from the wall or take your hands off the chair. But please only if you can hold yourself without going into rotation. We want to hold ourselves out of our curve as much as possible. 2 more deep breaths. Big inhale, big exhale, big inhale, big exhale, and then gently lowering down. You can bring yourself back up. Yay! Give yourself a round of applause. Well done for completing day 3. I'm so proud of you. If you've been doing all 3 days so far, congratulations. You are amazing. And I hope that you enjoyed this little taste of yoga for scoliosis. Still working on your core, your balance, your stability. If you have any questions, please do let me know in the comments below. And I really hope that I get to see you tomorrow.